So today I am doing a traditional sew-in on one of my clients. As you can see, my client is she's 100% natural. Right now what I am doing is I am parting off her hair that's going to be left out. What I like to do, being that my client hair is a tad bit thin on the side, I like to make it to where her part is going to be right at the arch of her eyebrow, so it's not going to be directly in the middle and it's not going to be a deep side part. So I am about to begin the braiding process, and being that my client edges are thin, like I mentioned in the beginning, what I like to do is take a piece of braiding hair and braid that edge down with a piece of braiding hair so that I know that that's going to be secured. I don't have to worry about it slipping. I don't have to worry about a track coming loose. I don't have to worry about her braid coming up. So I like to take a piece of braiding hair just to give it that extra grip and, her sewing to be secured. Okay, so on to the next braid. Being that my client has thick natural hair, I'm not going to need weave to braid down her whole head. So before I actually get done braiding this braid, the braid that I actually started with at first, I'm going to add that braid into this braid, and that's going to pretty much be my whole braiding pattern throughout the whole braiding process. So what you want to do is the braid that you're working on, you just want to keep adding the previous braid to whatever braid that you're working on. Just braid, add the previous braid, braid, add the previous braid. And what I like to do is I like to go to the next side once I'm to the back of the head, and I like to start on the other side, but we'll get to that when it's time for me to get to the other side so you can see what I'm talking about. And I do want to add this, when it comes to my braiding, I don't believe that you have to do those really small braids in order to have a really flat foundation. As you can see, my braids, they aren't big and they aren't really small. But I'm just one of those persons where I feel as if they don't have to be small, they don't have to be close together. You can still have the same end results as someone who braids their hair down really small. And I can 100% guarantee you that my sew-ins will last you a month or longer. All depends on how you take care of your hair. So right now what I am doing, I am starting on the other side of her head, and also on the other side her edges are a little bit thin too. So what I'm going to do, once again, like I did on the other side that I first started off with, I'm going to get a piece of braiding hair, and I am also going to braid that hair down with braiding hair so that I know for sure that that hair is secured, nothing's going to come up, nothing's going to slip. y'all have to excuse my face when I'm doing hair. It's straight go mode. I'm not cracking a smile. I'm just straight tunnel vision. So I'm not mad or anything. I'm just focused. So how it's braided on her left side is going to be the same pattern on her right side. Like I said, you're going to braid at the previous braid at the previous braid. And you're going to continue that same routine until you get to the back of the head. So now I am on my last braid in the back of the head. So what I am doing is the two braids that's on the left and the right, I am adding those braids into that last braid. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that hanging plait and I'm going to crochet it throughout that braid. I find that way quicker and easier than actually, doing the sewing it down. After each braid down, any installment, I like to take the Cantu leave-in conditioner mist and also the braiding conditioner spray, and I like to spray it on my client's head, just to give their scalp that moist, especially if they come in with a dry scalp, if they don't already have their own products on. And my all-time favorite, my all-time go-to is the Wild Growth Oil. I get so many good compliments when it comes to me using that, and I'm just using the blow dryer on heat to penetrate that through the scalp. I am beginning the sewing process, and I just want to say this: everyone sews in different. Some people sew underneath, some people sew in over. I am one of those people that likes to sew over. I've been doing it since I started. I've tried to do the sewing underneath method, but that's just something that I can't get with. I can't get the hang of, so I just stick with what I know. A lot of people would say when you're sewing over that your sewing turns out bulky, it doesn't lay flat. But in my case, I never have that problem. I never had a client complain or whatever. So I just stick with what I know. I stick with what I'm comfortable with. I mean, one day, who knows, I might switch. But as of right now, sewing over is definitely my thing. I most definitely do the fold over method. I do not believe in cutting tracks. I can't do it. My clients will tell you she is not cutting no bundles. Like, it will hurt my soul to cut bundles because I know that my clients spend a lot of money on their hair. So I'm not going to cut it because I feel like if you cut it, what's the purpose? So I try my best to not cut no one's bundles unless they're getting maybe like a bob. A bob just has to be really, 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 like, it's something about a bob that just has to be really flat. So majority of the time when it comes to a bob, I have them get pack hair because it's gonna get cut. You know, after it gets cut, there's no need to continue to use it. But yeah, back to me talking about the bundles. I don't cut no bundles, so for me, it's going to always be the fold over method. I'm showing you the products that I like to use, and I like to use the BioSilk and rub it throughout the weave. I also like to take the heat protecting spray, and I like to spray it on the real hair so that it protects the real hair from getting any heat damage. The BioSilk gives the hair so much body shine and just that silky straight look when it comes time to the pressing. My flat irons that I am using are my Science Tools flat irons. I purchased those at Sally's. Oh my God. When I tell you those flat irons are the bomb, they are the bomb. I need to go get me another pair. But they are definitely going to get the job done. But when it comes time to pressing out the hair, you definitely want to take a comb that's heat resistant. And you definitely want to chase that comb with that flat iron. These flat irons go up to 450 degrees. You literally only have to go through the hair one time, squeezing on the flat irons, you know, making sure they're tight and they're pressing on the hair. But you only have to go through that hair, you know, just one time. It's going to give you that bone straight look. I am on the last and final side, going ahead and pressing it out, making it smooth so that the end results are going to be pretty. But it's not too much to do, as long as you just, you know, put the right amount of products on it and have the right pair of flat irons that gets up to a decent, you know, amount of degrees when it comes to the heat, so that your pressing is A1. Let me toot my own horn real quick. Beep, beep. Like, look how good that looks. Like, can you see the difference between when I first started and now? Like, this looks so good. The hair looks like really, really healthy, nice, silky, shiny. Look good to me. So I'm going to take a little bit of the heat protecting spray and spray it on her hair to protect, you know, her hair from getting any heat damage. And we're going to start off parting it. I told you guys in the beginning of the video that I was going to have her part starting right at the arch of her eyebrow, so that I can add a little bit more of the hair from the part to her edges when it comes time for me to swoop it. And I am taking my hot comb and I'm just, you know, pressing it out at the roots so that, you know, it can be bone straight. And these, I purchased these particular hot combs from my local beauty supply store. These don't get as hot as the stove, you know, as a stove hot comb. I don't want to work with the stove kind because those get extremely too hot. And I already be nervous when I'm using these because I don't want to burn my clients, but I got to get to those roots. So I'm going to stick to the cord hot comb. I have no problem with them. Don't have a problem with them. Sometimes they do tend to break a little faster, a little easier, but I think that all comes with how you're dealing with them. And I'm a pretty rough person. I'm going to use the She's Balm Slick Stick. I love this because it keeps it tackles the flyaways, and you know how sometimes you can just have that stubborn hair, especially when you natural, you can have that stubborn hair that just don't want to lay down. But this Slick Stick is definitely going to get the job done, you know. And also I spray a little bit of the Pump It Up spray just to give it that extra hold. Once I got those hairs to lay down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hot comb and I'm going to go back through and press at her roots, just so it can get that extra straight look. I don't want it to look like she has natural hair. I don't want it to have that kinky look, so I just go back over it with the hot comb. And it's still not going to cause any damage to her hair. So what I realized was that I didn't show you guys what edge control I was using. But the edge control that I am using is the Ebian, and I believe that it's the mega hold. I mean, that is the top-notch hold, the maximum hold. You don't have to worry about your edges moving for probably about a good week. So I'm just using that. I didn't use too much because when you use a lot, I realized that it does end up turning white. But if it were to turn white, all you have to do is just take a little bit of water, put it on your edge control brush, and just go back over your edges with that, and it'll handle all of that. So these are the end results. And I'm just going to take a little bit of glosser and spray it on to give it a little shine. And I'll show you guys the end results.